Hi y'all, and welcome to Master Eats. It's kind of gloomy out today, so we decided we were going to make something sweet to kind of perk up our day. We're going to make my cardamom spice nut bar, and it has some really awesome ingredient. If you don't know what cardamom is, it's actually in the Indian style of spices. It looks like a pod, like pistachio, but it can be in powder form, or you can get them in these little seeds. So to start our recipe, I have a half a cup of white sugar and a cup of butter that I melted on the stove until it became brown with these little cool brown bits in here. And there are some of these cardamom seeds in there as well that I browned. That's gonna flavor your butter so it gets a really nutty taste, and then the cardamom goes all through it. I also have some powdered cardamom that I'm gonna add as well. So into this, I'm gonna pour my butter that's been melted and brown with the cardamom seeds. I'm gonna try to get all of it in here and incorporated. I'm gonna add half teaspoon of salt. Remember our science. Salt makes everything taste better too. I'm gonna add a full teaspoon of my vanilla. And I'm gonna incorporate this all together. Kind of see how it's looking here. And then I'm gonna add the flour. It is already smelling so good with that brown butter and the cardamom bits that I toasted in there. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of flour, and this is just all-purpose flour. And I'm just gonna gradually add it so I don't get any lumps. And then I'm gonna add another half a teaspoon of regular cardamom. And if you don't have this one on hand, just put a full teaspoon of cardamom. That'll be just as well. But you want to get that cardamom taste all through. See how that's coming together? And basically what we're forming here is a shortbread that's going to go in the bottom of our bars. So this is by no means healthy. It's got a lot of butter and sugar and stuff like that. So if you want healthy, leave out all the other ingredients and eat the nuts.
So you just want on the some pecans, basically.
So for the nuts today, we're gonna use, of course, our Georgia pecans, and I also have some walnuts and some pistachios. I love the flavor of pistachios and cardamom together. So this is coming along perfect, and kind of you see forming that pastry, shortbread pastry.
I gotta say, I am excited to try this.
Oh, good. But I want you to smell this. Just smell
Right,
that brown butter.
Let's smell this together.
You smell
That
it?
does smell really good.
And the cardamom. I mean, you can bake this and eat it by itself. Just put some of my melted cinnamon ice cream on it. It'll be just fine. All right, let's set this aside and let's get our ingredients together for the nut part. We'll be right back. Okay, we have a little buttered baking dish here, and this is, you can use like a regular 9x13. This is just a tad bit smaller. And we're gonna press our dough into it, and you don't have to be perfect. It just has to come together, you know. And we're gonna put this to set up in a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to make the topping. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so in our pan, we have a half a cup of maple syrup. You can see the separation there. A half a stick of butter. I'm using the same pan I browned the butter in. It's on medium heat, and I also have a half a cup of brown sugar. Now, as soon as this begins to melt, I'm gonna start incorporating and getting the sugar melted. We're creating a little bit of a caramel to add our nuts into.
All right, Mom, we do this every episode. I gotta ask you some questions.
Sure.
In a good way. Wait, what is your favorite dessert that has nuts in it?
Oh, I can probably say for sure pecan pie.
Pecan pie? Pecan pie for the win. Well, this does have pecans in it, as you guys saw in the first clip.
But this is pretty good too. I mean, it kind of has all the similar ingredients, except, you know, for different types of nuts. And it has a crust just like that. Cardamom wouldn't be a regular flavor in that, but you see how it's beginning to look nice and shiny, and it's melting, and that's kind of what you want. I'm gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of cream at this time. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. That should be good.
Well, it kind of looked like when you poured it in there, like when you put the cream in the little cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You ever see those like videos and
Yep.
It's pretty cool right
The
there.
gourmet coffee houses.
Also, cardamom, you said it was a spice, right? What else can cardamom be used for?
So in a lot of Indian cooking, they use it for almost all their desserts. I mean, they have a rice pudding that they put it in. We in Trinidad call it sweet rice, but it's really a rice pudding. A lot of their sweets have cardamom in it. I'm just gonna, oh, it's beginning to smell.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna slowly now drizzle the egg into here. I have 2 beaten eggs. I'm just gonna let it try to bubble for a minute, just so that that little lump will get overheated and melt. Yeah, you can focus down in there. You're seeing it like bubbling just a bit.
You guys can see that. This is also smell-o-vision again for you guys.
I know, it smells like caramel.
I do love caramel,
Yeah.
or caramel, however you prefer to say it.
Oh, he's being stubborn.
There's always that one.
All right, give it like 60 seconds. And we'll be right back and we'll drizzle in our eggs. Okay, so you see it bubbling. And I'm gonna slowly drizzle in some of this egg mixture. And we don't want the eggs to scramble at all. So you wanna keep going. So our caramel has come out of the oven. The stove. And we're gonna add our nuts to it. We have our short crust just out of the oven. So you see it just starting to barely get brown. So it's not completely baked yet, but it's set up. Okay, I'm gonna fold in these nuts or kind of toss them into this caramel mixture. And make sure every nut is coated in the caramel. It seems like it's not enough caramel, but it is. You see it's already starting to come together in the pan, in the bowl.
So your favorite nut is pistachio, right?
Yeah, and pecans. I love pecans. Kidding?
I guess I'm kind of basic because I like almonds and peanuts.
Okay.
But I don't hate any of these right here. Like I would eat these.
So you see, for this dish, it's a generous amount of nuts. So you're not getting skimped on the nuts at all.
It's living up to the name for sure of being a nut bar. Look at the caramel, how it kind of glosses over the pecans, walnuts, and pistachios.
Okay, let's get all that in there. And then we're gonna put this back into the 350-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes, and it's all gonna come together. We are gonna let it cool for at least an hour before we actually cut it. One more final ingredient, and that is optional. I mean, if you don't want it, that's fine. For me, I think it really brings out the nuts. I'm gonna just sprinkle with a little bit of coarse salt. You can use sea salt or flake salt. I've even put smoked salt on here. And it's really gonna bring out the flavor because those were just unsalted nuts that we had. And when we come back, we're gonna cut it and try it. All right?
See y'all then.
Okay, we've gotten it out of the oven. And you see how nice and brown the top got. And its caramel's already in there. And let me just cut. We let it cool for a couple hours. And let's just get a little... And you can also actually cool this in the refrigerator. It can store up to 2 weeks, so it won't last 2 days here, but
Oh yeah, it won't last here. That looks really good. I tell you what, if you guys love like a variety of nuts, if you guys like pecans, walnuts, and pistachios, this is a nut lover's dream right here, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
You know how
right, the first corner is always difficult to come out, but once you get that out, it'll be fine. All right, so you see your nuts. The bottom is that kind of cookie crumb.
Mm-hmm.
Shortbread.
Nice little cross section there.
Yep.
Yeah, instead of meat lovers like for pizza, you got the nut lover right here.
Right.
All right, let me know what you think.
You gotta try it. It's really good. And you really get the cardamom coming through everything.
Here, I'll try like, it's kind of falling apart in a good way, so let me try it.
It's still hot. But once it really totally cools. You like it?
You do get the cardamom.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that it's sweet, salty, a little savory. Because of the nut flavor.
The bottom layer is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Can stand on its own as a cookie.
Wow, that's really good. It's a lot of different flavors going on. A lot of different mixes.
Try it. Make it. You can change up the nuts if you want. If you don't have cardamom nuts, fine. But do put some vanilla in it if you want it for the flavor. Don't forget to like our videos and subscribe. And try our recipes. Let us know how you do. All right, until next time.